Hello, readers. One wrong move, and your life unravels, yet here stands a man daring to defy an empire. The Manhattan courthouse rises like a fortress of justice, its stone walls heavy with the echoes of countless trials. Inside courtroom 12B, the air crackles, thick with the weight of an impending clash. Reporters pack the benches, notebooks open, pens ready to seize every word. Spectators murmur, their gazes shifting between two colossal figures, Sean Combs P. Diddy, the music mogul whose empire once seemed invincible, and Curtis Jackson, known as 50 Cent, a man driven by unyielding resolve. The judge, a stern woman with silver-streaked hair, slams her gavel, cutting through the whispers. Silence descends like a heavy curtain. Challenging someone as powerful as Diddy demands more than courage. It requires an iron will, airtight evidence, and a readiness to risk everything. You need a strategic mind to navigate the web of influence, loyal allies to guard your back, and a fire that burns brighter than fear. The machine you face is vast, armed with legal battalions and public sway, but victory hinges on conviction that refuses to bend. Would I have the courage to stand up, knowing the risks? It's a soul-deep question. Facing a titan like Diddy, with his resources and reach, would feel like stepping into a hurricane. I'd need unshakable proof, a cause worth fighting for, and nerves of steel to hold my ground. If the truth demanded it, I'd rise heart racing, but resolute. Would you? The wooden floor creaks as 50 Cent strides to the witness stand, his black suit sharp but unflashy, a stark contrast to the diamond-encrusted persona of his early rap days. His face is a mask of determination, his eyes steady, betraying no fear. Across the room, Diddy sits at the defense table, his tailored suit unable to hide the tension in his posture. His hands, usually steady, fidget with a pen, betraying a crack in his polished facade. His legal team, a squadron of high-powered attorneys, leans in, whispering urgently. The prosecutor, a wiry man with a voice like gravel, rises. "Mr. Jackson, please state your purpose here today." 50 Cent leans into the microphone, his voice low but resonant, cutting through the room like a blade. "I'm here to tell the truth. A truth I've carried for over a decade. It's time the world knows what I saw, what I heard, and what I recorded." A ripple of gasps spreads through the courtroom. The jury, a diverse group of 12 New Yorkers, leans forward, their faces a mix of curiosity and apprehension. Diddy's lawyer, a silver-haired man with a reputation for shredding witnesses, shoots to his feet. "Objection, Your Honor. Mr. Jackson was not on the initial witness list, and his testimony lacks relevance." The prosecutor doesn't flinch. "Your Honor, newly uncovered evidence recording spanning 10 years directly ties Mr. Combs to allegations of extortion, coercion, and misconduct. Mr. Jackson's testimony is critical." The judge's eyes narrow, her gaze flicking between the attorneys. After a tense sidebar, she rules, her voice clear and final. "Objection overruled. Mr. Jackson, proceed." Imagine being in that jury box, hearing those words. What's running through your mind? Can a single witness dismantle a titan like Diddy? The prosecutor approaches a table laden with evidence, a sleek laptop, several hard drives, and a stack of legal documents. "Your Honor, these recordings, verified by 3 independent audio experts, are authentic and unedited. They corroborate the testimony of multiple victims." The judge reviews the documents, her expression unreadable, then nods. "Proceed." 50 Cent adjusts the microphone, his gaze locking onto the jury. "What I'm about to share isn't rumors or gossip. It's evidence I collected, piece by piece, starting in 2003. I kept it quiet, waiting for the right moment. Today's that day." The first recording crackles through the courtroom speakers, the sound slightly distorted but unmistakable. Diddy's voice, commanding and cold, fills the room. "No one leaves until I say so. Do you understand?" A trembling female voice responds, barely audible, "Please, I just want to go home." Diddy's tone hardens. "You'll leave when I'm done." That's how this works. The courtroom freezes. Jurors shift uncomfortably, some scribbling notes, others staring at Diddy, whose face has drained of color. His water glass trembles in his hand, threatening to spill. 50 Cent's voice is heavy as he explains. That was August 2003, after the MTV Awards. I was in the next room at a party in the Hamptons. The girl was a model, brought by one of Diddy's associates. She was scared, begging to leave. He wouldn't let her. The prosecutor plays another clip, this one from 2007. Diddy's voice is chillingly calm. I own everyone here. I made you, and I can destroy you just as easily. Don't test me. 50 Cent identifies the setting, a late-night recording session at Bad Boy Records. He was talking to an artist who dared question his creative control. It wasn't just about music. It was about power. He threatened their career, their safety, everything. What would you feel hearing those words in person? Have you ever witnessed someone use power to silence others? The recordings continue, each one a brushstroke and a damning portrait. A 2012 clip captures Diddy planning a special party. His voice is businesslike, almost casual. Collect all the phones. Set everything up as usual. Double the amount from last time. Make sure everyone signs NDAs before entering. Another voice asks about special guests. Diddy's reply is curt, they don't have a choice if they want to keep working. The jury's unease grows palpable. Some jurors avoid Diddy's gaze, others stare openly, their expressions hardening. Diddy's lawyer objects repeatedly, arguing the recordings are out of context or inadmissible, but the judge upholds their relevance. 50 Cent recounts his first encounter with Diddy's World, a 2003 party in a sprawling Hamptons mansion. I was new to the game, just breaking through after surviving a shooting. Being invited to Diddy's party felt like a big deal. But when I got there, something was off. He describes the scene, security guards at every entrance, guests' phones confiscated, tiny cameras hidden in chandeliers and vases. They said it was for safety, to protect the stars. But I knew it was to hide what was happening inside. As he ventured deeper into the mansion, the crowd thinned. Guarded doors led to private rooms, accessible only to select guests. I saw Diddy approach me, all smiles, but his eyes were cold. He said, I decide who succeeds and who fails in this industry. Everyone here knows that. It wasn't a greeting. It was a warning. Have you ever been in a situation where the rules felt rigged? How did you respond? The prosecutor plays a 2016 recording, one that hits like a gut punch. Diddy's voice is icy, discussing Cassie, his former partner. She's getting too free, thinking she can make decisions without me. I need to remind her who's in charge. Another voice asks, what are you going to do? Diddy's reply is chilling, whatever it takes. She knows what happens to those who defy me. The courtroom falls silent, the weight of the words hanging heavy. Cassie's lawyers, seated in the gallery, exchange urgent whispers, their pens flying across legal pads. 50 Cent's voice trembles with regret. That was a private dinner at Diddy's house, just a few people. I hit a recorder in my watch, sensing something bad was coming. I tried to warn Cassie through mutual friends, but Diddy had her isolated. I was scared of what he'd do if he found out I was helping her. The recordings paint a timeline of manipulation, threats, and coercion, spanning a decade. They corroborate victims' testimonies, turning whispers into undeniable evidence. Diddy's breathing grows labored, his face flushed, his tie loosened. His lawyer, sensing trouble, leans in, whispering, then turns to the judge. Your Honor, my client is unwell. We request a recess. The judge nods, granting a brief break. But as Diddy rises, his legs buckle. He stumbles, clutching the table, then collapses to the floor. The courtroom erupts into chaos. Court staff rush to his side, paramedics are summoned, and the judge's voice cuts through the din, demanding order. 50 Cent watches from the stand, his expression unreadable, a mix of sorrow, resolve, and exhaustion. What do you think pushed Diddy to collapse? Was it the weight of guilt, fear of exposure, or something deeper? The next day, the courtroom is even more packed, the air thick with tension. Diddy returns, his face gaunt, his eyes sunken. A medical report cites severe stress and dehydration, but he's deemed fit to proceed. His legal team's request for a delay is denied. We will continue as scheduled, the judge declares. 50 Cent resumes his testimony, his voice steady but laced with emotion. He describes the 2009 event in New York, a private room filled with young women, some visibly uneasy, others dazed. Diddy was in control, orchestrating everything like it was normal. I recognized some girls from music video shoots, others I'd never seen. They didn't know how to leave. Days later, he received a chilling call from an unknown number. A voice said, "I know what you saw. Stay quiet if you want to succeed." Then they hung up. He pauses, his gaze sweeping the jury. I thought it was a bluff until a package arrived at my home. Inside was a USB drive with footage from that night. I was in the video, standing in a corner, watching. Then Diddy's voice came from behind the camera, "Now I have something to keep everyone in line." That's how we stay connected. The jury gasps, the weight of the revelation sinking in. 50 Cent's voice hardens. I realized I wasn't just invited. I was set up, put in that room to be controlled. That's when I started recording everything, not just for me, but for those who couldn't fight back. Have you ever received a threat that made you question your safety? How did you find the strength to keep going? The prosecutor plays more recordings, each unveiling another layer of Diddy's influence. A 2014 clip captures him musing about power. Money runs out. Fame fades. The key is to hold something over everyone. That's real control. 50 Cent explains, that was his philosophy. He didn't just want success, he wanted to own people, make them afraid to stand up to him. He names artists who faced pressure, some driven out of the industry, others silenced by fear. Diddy used gifts, cars, vacations, jewelry to make people feel special. Then he'd mention someone who crossed him, how they lost everything. The message was clear, this could be you. The recordings revealed discussions of payoffs, evidence tampering, and coordinated cover-ups. The jury listens intently, their unease growing. Diddy sits motionless, his gaze fixed forward, occasionally whispering to his lawyer. After his collapse, he seems to be suppressing his emotions, his face a blank slate. What does it say about an industry that lets this happen? Have you seen similar dynamics in your own workplace or community? "50 Cent's voice lowers as he explains his decade-long silence. I needed undeniable proof. One recording can be dismissed, but 10 years of evidence tells a story no one can twist. When that video of Diddy assaulting Cassie surfaced, I couldn't stay quiet. That could have been anyone, even me." He recounts the backlash he faced for rejecting Diddy's invitations. Radio stations stopped playing my music. Colleagues went silent. Rumors spread that I was jealous, difficult. I knew it was Diddy's way of sending a message without saying it outright. Despite the pressure, 50 Cent carved his own path, building a television empire and a liquor business to break free from Diddy's orbit. A 2019 recording captures Diddy's frustration. He thinks he's untouchable now. But no one is invincible. 50 Cent's voice softens. As I got stronger, he targeted others, people with less power, less voice. But he never forgot I challenged him. Have you ever had to rebuild after someone tried to hold you back? What kept you going? The prosecutor asks why 50 Cent finally turned over the evidence. His answer is raw, unfiltered. "I stayed silent for 10 years, telling myself it wasn't my fight. But when that hotel video of Cassie came out, and I heard Diddy's team was trying to bury it, I couldn't live with it. I called the FBI and said I had evidence from a decade ago. I was ready to answer any question." He turns to Diddy, his tone sharp. "You built an empire on control. You called it family, but it was a prison." Diddy doesn't respond, his gaze vacant, his hands trembling. 50 Cent holds up a battered mini-cassette recorder, a relic from 2003. "This is where it started. I recorded to protect myself, to give a voice to those who had none. This isn't just about parties or one video. It's about a system that silences people, protects the powerful, and hurts the voiceless." He looks at the jury, his voice resolute. "You said no one could stop you, Diddy. But the truth can. What does it mean to hold onto a truth this big? How can we support those who speak out against power?" As 50 Cent steps down, the prosecutor poses a final question. "Mr. Jackson, based on what you've witnessed, do you believe Sean Combs remains a danger?" 50 Cent doesn't hesitate. "Yes. As long as he has money, influence, and connections, he's a threat. The system that propped him up still exists. Enablers are still in power. Victims are still afraid." Diddy suddenly stands, his eyes wild with panic. Security officers move closer, alert. Before anyone can react, his body sways, his eyes roll back, and he collapses again, hitting the floor with a dull thud. The courtroom descends into pandemonium. Paramedics rush in, lifting him onto a stretcher. His face is ashen, his breathing faint. His legal team huddles, their faces etched with worry. The judge, composed but visibly shaken, calls for order and clears the room. Outside, a crowd gathers, news of 50 Cent's testimony spreading like wildfire. As he exits, applause erupts, raw and heartfelt. He doesn't acknowledge it, his gaze distant, his steps heavy. A reporter shouts, "Do you think justice will be served?" He pauses, turning. "That's not up to me. The jury will decide. What do you think justice looks like in a case like this? Can it ever fully heal the damage done?" The trial sends shockwaves through the entertainment industry. Record labels halt projects tied to Diddy. Former allies issue cautious statements, distancing themselves. Old interviews resurface, Diddy's boasts about power now sounding sinister. Photos from his parties are re-examined, the uneasy expressions of young artists taking on new meaning. Fans grapple with the revelations, stunned that 50 Cent carried this burden for a decade. Online, they question why allegations were dismissed as rumors, buried under the industry's glittering facade. Diddy remains hospitalized for 3 days, his legal team citing health issues and a failed bid to delay the trial. Leaked medical reports mention stress, high blood pressure, and an irregular heartbeat. Some call it a ploy, others believe his crumbling empire has taken a toll. 50 Cent faces both praise and scrutiny. Supporters hail his courage, while critics ask why he waited so long. In a rare interview, he responds, "One recording can be twisted. 10 years of evidence can't. I need it to be undeniable." Legal experts weigh in. Attorney Marsha Johnson notes, "These recordings don't just corroborate victims, they show a pattern of behavior." Former prosecutor Thomas Reynolds adds, "The prosecution has exposed a system, not just one man." An anonymous witness, once warned by 50 Cent via text, prepares to testify, promising to unveil more secrets. The trial is far from over, its outcome uncertain. What do you think this new witness will reveal? How can their testimony shape the future of this case? This isn't just a trial, it's a reckoning. Power can silence, but courage can break through. Look around you. If you see someone being controlled, silenced, or harmed, Act. Ask questions. Listen. Offer support. A single gesture can shatter the wall of silence. Share your thoughts. How can we dismantle systems that protect the powerful? What's one step you can take today to stand up for the truth? Start small. Check on a friend, call out unfairness at work, or amplify a silenced voice. As 50 Cent showed, the truth is a spark, but it needs courage to ignite. What's your spark? How will you use it to make a difference?